What's happening, folks? Deftones are back with one of the most unhinged song names I think I've ever seen. Milk of Madonna is crazy. I don't know what sort of reference that is, but on a very surface level, I can only assume that I know what they're referring to there. Then again, I might be wrong. I don't know. I've been doing a bit of a deep dive on Deftones' discography, which you can get involved with on my Patreon. I just checked out Diamond Eyes. I've done the first album, Adrenaline. I've done the second album, Around the Fur. I did the next album, which is White Pony. And I'm going to hopefully get to a couple more before the album drops in like 13 days from the time at which I'm recording this. So yeah, Patreon, all the links are in the description. The videos are blocked on YouTube, so I can't upload them anyway. So go check them out there if you want. Support me. But yeah, this is not new to me. Deftones have always had that kind of weirdness with like some of their lyrical content and some of the song names. So Milk of Madonna makes sense to a certain degree, but even by their standards, that's a fucking wild name. But yeah, let's see if Deftones can make it 2 for 2 on their upcoming album, which is called Private Music, which again, like I said, drops in 13 days. I really enjoyed the last song. It was my favorite song of last month. I had a bit of time to think about it, and I was like, you know what? Having heard My Mind is a Mountain a couple more times, just slaps. It's just so fucking good. And hopefully they can pull off something similar, if not better, on Milk of Madonna. So without any further ado, folks, let's go. This one's also noticeably a little bit longer than the last one. And there's no music video again because I'm not waiting around. Okay. Slightly more up-tempo start. Still has that Deftones feel. Less reverb on the snare this time. Okay, a little bit different. Can't say I've heard any songs that are similar to this in the overall energy of it. Interesting choice of a single. Those drums have just been they have not let up. Classic Deftones. Feel it, feel it. Two minutes 40 seconds before those drums let up. Where are they going with the bridge? This is fucking... I was not expecting this. Okay. Let me put my specs on for this one. Okay. Okay, first impressions off the dome is that this is a very interesting choice as a single to be released 13 days out from the new album. Now, Deftones are in a league of their own and they do whatever they want. There's going to be people there to listen to the album, regardless of how they hype it with the singles. The singles, for me, with Deftones are just a formality. Like, they're absolutely huge. They could release nothing and just drop the album and it would still be just as big. But obviously, the idea of singles is to build that hype and have people anticipating the new album. And then hopefully on album release day, you have as many people just flocking to the album because the singles have been so entertaining. There's a fucking robot or something outside. Okay, well, we're being invaded, apparently. Yeah, there's just no need for that to be on a fucking truck. Like, we can see you, bro. You're a truck. You don't need to have a big fucking megaphone. Anyway, that's completely derailed my thought process there. But is it still... How long are you reversing for? He's still going. Is he just reversing up the road? What the fuck is happening? He's getting quieter, but he's still doing it. He's still going. It's so annoying. Still going. Okay, I'm going to have to try and block him out a little bit, but I can just vaguely hear him in the background. It's pissing me off. He's still going. I think he's reversing up the fucking hill. Anyways, where were we? Deftones' new album. Milk of the Madonna. Oh, it's Milk of the Madonna. What's a Madonna? I know I'm thinking of... Does Madonna mean something, or is it just literally the name of the singer? I don't think Madonna is a word outside of the artist. So it's almost more weird that it's Milk of the Madonna, because it's like objectifying Madonna, because it's just the Madonna. But if Madonna also has another meaning, then maybe they're referring to the milk of like a particular object. But yeah, it's going to be pretty awkward if they are referring to something else and I started the video talking about like Madonna's milk. But anyways, that's Deftones' fault for making a weird name of a song. No matter what way you spin it, it's still weird. But yeah, I didn't really fuck with this song, especially compared to the first single, My Mind Is a Mountain, which is a kind of different vibe. I feel like the first track was a little bit more angsty. I honestly, musically, I didn't love the commitment to the drumming intensity for like 2 minutes and 40 seconds, because it did sound like there was a somewhat decent kind of like shoegazy-esque Deftones style chorus that was featured within that like drumming intensity that I just feel like didn't really get the chance to breathe because the drums just didn't let up. Now, if you're a drummer, I'm sure something like this would be very fun to play. It's got great energy and it doesn't really let up until, again, like 2 minutes 40. But then even in the bridge section where I thought the song might like be turned on its head and take a bit of a different shift, it kind of just like stayed there for like less than 10 seconds and then just straight back into it, and then the song just ended. I don't think it's necessarily a bad song. I'm thinking of the like 4 or 5 albums that I've heard from Deftones now that are again on my Patreon. You should check it out. I don't think I heard a song on those albums that sounded anything like this. So to me, at least from the albums that I've heard, this is pretty different for Deftones. I don't know if they have other songs like this on their discography, but from what I have heard in like the 4 or 5 albums, this is pretty unique. Unique doesn't always necessarily mean good, but this just strikes me as more of like an album track that would fit nicely within maybe some heaters. So yeah, unfortunately for me, this song is solid. I wouldn't say this is anything to write home about, especially because I'm comparing this to the first single, and that was my song of the month last month. And then this song, I don't see being anywhere near my top song of the month for this month already, and it's only 8 days in. So yeah, what do you guys think? Let me know in the comments. I'm kind of conflicted on this. I'll listen to this again. That is the one thing about My Mind Is a Mountain. Although I did really, really like it on the first listen, it did grow on me a lot. But I'm just struggling to see what about this song will really grow on me, apart from the obvious like Deftones vibes in general, that kind of like sexy flair to it. But otherwise, a bit meh, not gonna lie. A little bit disappointed by that track from Deftones. But again, very much so looking forward to checking out the new album when it drops in 13 days. Assuming they'll probably have one single that drops on the day or the day before. We'll keep an eye out. But otherwise, thank you guys so much for watching. I'm signing out. Look after yourselves. I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.